Minecraft Bedrock Edition. My friends and I are gonna survive 100 days in hardcore mode. We're gonna survive enemies, build up a base, and yeah, this is 100 days in Minecraft Bedrock Edition hardcore mode. You want to play mod packs with friends, but you can't seem to find a good server. And the free ones? With the big mod packs these days, free servers are just too laggy. Luckily for you, there's BISECT hosting. They host my server, and with plenty of affordable options, they can host your server too. And the best part is, they support almost every mod pack. Use code DOUBLESAL at checkout for 25% off your first order. BISECT hosting, a great site for great servers. Welcome to day 0. I had to do the essentials, like making a pickaxe and eating a Minecraft meal. All jokes aside, this was our second attempt at doing this challenge. That's because the last one didn't go so well. Trial and error. I found a ruined portal, and inside the chests were some gold nuggets and a lodestone. The next morning, we found a birch forest with a lava fall. We decided to build here. But first, some breakfast. I can't think of a better way to start day 1 than by building the base. After cooking my pork chops, I began construction on a cabin when this happened.
John!
Kevin, no! Where are they coming from? We're like 10 minutes in the day already!
We christened our world with a screenshot, and then I continued construction on our house. That was it for day 1. So far, so good. We were doing great without any incidents. Well, almost. But no one died, and that's what matters. As for the house, I added a roof, dug a basement, and then from there, it was time for a little break. I mined some coal, found a small cave, found some oak trees, and then I finished the basement. To wrap things up, I added a boat dock in the back, and with that, the house was finally complete. Kevin gave me some armor for our screenshot, and with that, we had completed our first week in hardcore. Day 10. While I was building the house, Kevin made an animal farm along with a weed farm. I also had to beef up defenses because the creepers were getting too close to our base. With a little terraforming, I was able to push back the hill. Then I crafted some shears and got some leaves, but more on that later. After growing the crops, I wanted to work on making a mine entrance. Kevin had started one, but it was a little hidden. I ended up assembling something that was a little more eye-catching. Here it is, the finished mine entrance. Because coordinates were disabled, we never knew which level we were on. I had to look up what level rivers spawned, that being level 63. And then I counted down from there, marking each level with a sign, that way we knew where to mine for what. I wasn't confident enough to go into a cave system yet, so strip mining was gonna have to do for now. I kept mining until I came across a cave system. This was a small tunnel that led to a much larger dripstone cave. Yeah, I was not gonna go in there, so I marked it with my sign, mined the iron ore that I had passed, cooked it in a furnace, and then I completed my iron armor set. For the first time in this hardcore world, I finally felt safe. But you can never feel too safe because that's when the bad things happen. Think about it. One day you're farming, having the time of your life, and then boom, it's all over. By this point, I had done enough in this world to the point where it would hurt if I had to lose it. So I was being extra cautious even when I was doing simple things like expanding the farm. I reinforced the hill with a cobblestone wall, and then those leaves I had gotten earlier, I used them to make a hedge. Not just for decoration, but they acted as a protective barrier against creepers. I didn't want one getting the drop on me while I was picking potatoes. I did a little more terraforming, adding a staircase to the main wall. At last, we had domesticated the shores of our future kingdom. By the time we had reached day 28, things were looking pretty optimistic. We had a lot of animals, especially cows, which was perfect because we had to make books if we were going to set up our enchanting table. Kevin had already gotten a head start on that. Down in the basement, he had placed the enchanting table block, and all I had to do was put the bookshelves together. We went back to the mines, but ultimately decided to turn around. It made no sense not to utilize the enchantments, even if they were level 1, because in hardcore, anything makes a world of difference. All of my armor had protection, and once I put sharpness on my sword, I felt that much stronger to actually take on anything this world had to throw at me. Shortly after, I found some diamonds which I regretted mining because later Kevin gave me a pickaxe that had Fortune 1 on it. Not that crazy, but anything helps. I wanted to test the new pickaxe, but we encountered some trouble. A baby zombie.
John, 4 hearts.
He's coming back. He's got a sword. Oh!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mined a little more iron, got some gold, discovered that we were actually in a slime chunk, which is extremely useful. Then we went to a geode that Kevin had found. After mining some amethyst, we returned to the dripstone cave that I found earlier. We wanted to collect the dripstone itself so that we could make a lava farm. Carefully, we mined plenty of dripstone, and once we had more than enough, we went back to make a single lava farm. Why we needed this? Well, we didn't. We just wanted to make one. Once that was finished, we went back to the caves. This time, we found something more interesting than dripstone. We found a monster spawner. Kevin was going to convert this into an XP farm. Meanwhile, back at the base, it was time for me to upgrade my pickaxe. I had a few levels, so I went to the enchanting table and reluctantly applied Unbreaking 2. Next, I crafted an item I never thought I'd have to make, a clock. That way I could tell time while I was still in the mines. I even gave Kevin one. With the power to tell time, we went off to explore, but something insane happened that would change our playthrough. Quentin joined the game, as did Kylie. We had new people in this world, and now we had to go pick them up because we didn't think they'd survive the journey back home. We gave them food, shelter. All we had to do now was provide employment. That wasn't going to be a problem. There were, after all, plenty of tasks that we had to accomplish, like chopping down trees. I like to build, I just don't like to gather the materials. Now that we were all together, it was time for our first town meeting. We discussed important issues like the wolf spawn rate and the do's and don'ts of riding a donkey. It was very productive. To wrap it all up, we took a commemorative group screenshot and then placed bets on who was gonna die first. Our population had doubled in size, so I had to build a new house. But before I could make any serious progress, I had to go on a resource run. Then I had to introduce Xavier to our newest addition to the world, the lava farm, which had been dubbed Old Drippy. He's very impressed. Back to building. I built the foundation, though there were some vocal concerns about symmetry. But at the time, the build looked fine to me, so I just carried on. Now, this wouldn't be a proper Bedrock video without microtransactions. There were plenty of marketplace add-ons which I wanted to try, though some of them were a little buggy. I didn't want any issues, so I took them out. Speaking of issues, I saw the symmetry problem, but it wasn't anything you couldn't correct with a few leaf blocks. I added a shrub above the mineshaft entrance, that way I could cover up my little mistake, and in the end it came out pretty good, I gotta say. This next clip is an example of why everyone needed an in-game job. Out of boredom, Kylie flipped open every gate and trap door in this house. Then, she littered on the floor. But you know what? I guess it beats griefing. I went back to the worksite, made a second foundation for a third house. Both buildings were going to be identical to one another, and they'd be connected by a bridge, which also doubled as a nice little gate. The foundations were complete and ready to go for the next part of the build process. Back at the house, Kylie had built herself a nest. I think she was going to sleep up there. But had she not been up there, we probably never would have seen that creeper that was sitting in the boat right underneath the house.
This dock is off limits.
We were going to have to illuminate the outside of the lake because so many creepers were spawning. I know it was only 2, but those were the ones on camera. I also added an animal add-on, and I think it was affecting our wolf population, which upset Quentin because he wanted to find a pet.
You know what, Quentin? I'm gonna go with you.
He was determined to find a wolf at any cost, but he needed an escort because he couldn't be trusted with his own life.
Okay, yeah, okay, my main intention right now, I want to get a horse, and I want to get a wolf.
I gave him a compass, that way he could find his way back home. Now, Quentin, he was extra determined. He wasn't gonna let anything get in his way.
Oh!
I'm a mother.
Oh.
His determination could only be matched by his stubbornness. This guy did not want to wear armor.
Do you think rocking the no chest plate is the move?
No, you should really put one on.
But my wings, what did I pay for?
Keeping Quentin alive in a hardcore world was going to be my greatest challenge yet. He showed little to no caution whatsoever. He knew the risks, he just didn't care about them.
Was I living life on the edge?
Yeah, you're playing with life and death.
Along the way, I cautioned him on every single way he could die, but he didn't care. He just wanted the dog.
That's what I'm talking about. Step in here and see what happens. Oh, you're already in it. That will kill you if you stay in it for too long. Just walk out.
Do you want me to try?
There,
Well, okay,
I promise you, there's no wolf up here.
Okay, wait.
We must have walked thousands of blocks. We found everything except the dog. We came across a cherry tree biome, even a penguin. He was a cool guy, though. I think this one little penguin made the whole trip worthwhile. He had already sunken in powdered snow before, but he insisted that we trek through the snow even more because he thought that the chances of finding a wolf were higher.
Wait, why did I just... Is this quicksand added in the game?
Basically, it's powdered snow. You sink into it.
After digging him out of the snow, we came across a pale garden biome.
Why is there a biome? with a bunch of ashy trees, like it's like Valley of Death.
That's the Pale Forest. I've never been in there, so I can't predict you because I don't know how it works in there. So we're not going there.
Believe it or not, this was my first time ever encountering one of these, so I didn't know what to expect aside from the enemy. I don't even know what it's called. You know, the tree thing? I don't know what triggers it to spawn, but my main concern was that Quentin was going to wander too deep into the woods and get killed by it. Thankfully, he had a little common sense, and he went on top of the tree line instead of walking directly through the forest. I followed his lead, climbed to the top of the trees, and made my way towards him. At the end of the forest, he stood there frozen, staring at something. It turns out that he had made a discovery, a woodland mansion. While we were distracted, a creeper snuck up behind me and exploded.
Yo,
We gotta get out of here.
Yo.
Bro.
Wait, there's a mansion over here.
Did you see it? No, those
mansion?
are deadly, by the way. You don't want to go there yet.
Wait, can you
A mansion?
please, so we can?
Yes.
A woodland mansion?
Probably
Right
not.
here. It's right here.
I'll tell you what. I have a lodestone. We can go back. I can mark it with a compass.
We walked to the base of the mansion, and once Quentin saw the entrance, he was ready to run right in, but we didn't have the proper gear, so I had to explain to him that this was a bad idea.
Why wouldn't we go inside though?
Because we.
Bro,
are
you don't play
not-
Minecraft.
By
Those guys
anything.
could literally probably like one hit us.
It's daytime though.
Okay, maybe you can do it with iron armor, but with Quentin, I wasn't gonna risk it.
What type of bear? Yo, this thing poison. Yo.
You walked into the skunk stink.
3 hearts from 100. There's so many stupid animals. They're not spawning an actual wolf.
Multiple days had passed, and by this point, Quentin was getting desperate. Desperate and dangerous.
Sean, did you give him a shield?
No, he doesn't have one, and he's beating it with a stake.
I don't even like. I don't like using shields. They're trash.
Quentin, I don't feel safe exploring with you anymore.
Wait, why?
Your reliability.
Quentin wanted to keep going, but we were low on food, so we had to turn back.
Do you have any food?
Just gave you food. That's why I'm hesitant to explore this. I don't have a lot anymore.
I'm gonna die.
How many hearts do you have?
2.5.
All right, we're here. It's just on the other side. Can I trust you to... Oh my god. I can't believe we traveled so far for some cosmetic slop.
A wolf? A lifelong companion?
Yes.
I brought some saplings back, but they didn't grow because I didn't know you needed 4. But aside from all that, it was good to be back home. I went back to my project, collecting more resources, that way I could finish the house. I even collected calcite, that way we could have some nice textured walls. With plenty of materials, I went back to the build site. All I had was a frame up, but I had the blocks to fill in the walls. There I combined calcite with some diorite, and it just gives it a little texture, it pops. Once the walls were up, it was time to start thinking about the second floor. By day 62, I had made a little more progress on the build, and now it was time to give Kevin a tour. Well, half a tour. The place still wasn't done yet, but there was enough to show him. So we went inside, and here you have your typical staircase, plenty of room for items, and up here, I had plans to build a little storage area. As for bedrooms, well, there were no bedrooms, but nothing wrong with sleeping in the attic. Now, it was time for the most challenging part of this build, designing the roof. I hate building roofs in Minecraft. Getting the materials, finalizing the shape, it's just such a time-consuming and expensive process. Well, it just depends on what you want to build it out of. In this case, I was going to make it out of bricks, but getting clay is an annoying task, and in this case, I needed a lot of it. Thankfully, I was able to cut costs down by incorporating granite in there. Minecraft logic, when granite is cheaper to use than bricks. It took a few days collecting the materials and then building the thing, but eventually the roof was finally complete and I was pretty happy with the way it came out. This build gave off your standard medieval cottage vibe, which is exactly what I was going for. The build looked so much larger when you looked at it from a lower level, and I was happy with that. Though my joy was short-lived because I was sprayed by a skunk, which nearly killed me. I don't know who designed that skunk spray, but I think it's overkill. Why not just have it give you nausea? Why does it have to bring you to the verge of death? To show his appreciation for me having built the house, Kevin gifted me with a great pickaxe, Fortune 3 and Efficiency 4. But he wasn't done yet. He gave me a sword, this one with sharpness, fire aspect, and knockback. Before testing them, I added the actions and stuff add-on, a resource pack known to add very dynamic animations to everything. It takes simple things like combat and makes it so much more engaging. Even eating food is fun now. It turns out that I wasn't the only one who made a responsible investment. I don't know how much that cost, but you know what? Money well spent. But yeah, if you want to bring Minecraft to life that much more, then I highly recommend you get this add-on. They're not even paying me to say that, though they should. Look how exaggerated the animation is just to drop flowers. And these shears, they look pretty lethal. Now that the building was done, it was time to move on to the next step. I had to work on the storage space. There was plenty of room in the attic, so I was going to do a simple array of chests and barrels. This was a pretty small space to work with, so my block placement had to be efficient as possible. Well, it was anything but efficient. Thankfully, Kylie was there to correct the placement, and then she had an accident with the stairs.
Bruh, I keep falling down your stupid staircase.
Where are you falling? Where's the hazard?
Right here, and then I go all the way down to the bottom.
I had to do my best to make the staircase Kylie-proof, which you'll see later on is harder than it looks.
Give it a test.
For some reason, Kylie has a gift for finding hazards and exploits in the most unlikely places. For example, I put a facade together, and then the next thing she does is find a way to crawl into the walls. Then she'd peek her head out like one of those cartoon mice. The rest of the day was spent completing the mundane task of wrapping up the storage space. Next, I had to label each barrel with a sign, that way we could have all of our items organized. I had to take a break from building. I kept hearing about this legendary XP farm that Kevin made, so I went to go check it out for myself. To get there, I had to take the longest ladder descent in Minecraft history because this thing was underneath a mountain. I had to make the most of my time here because I was not going to make this trip multiple times. So while I waited for the zombies to accumulate, I sat around looking at the realm stories. Eventually the zombies started piling up, and then from there it was free game. Plenty of XP, but nowhere near the amount I needed. So I was going to have to just tackle the situation head on. I had to make a tunnel. If I made a tunnel, I could at least cut the commute by half. So we started digging and mining, thinking that this tunnel was going to be centered with Kevin's ladder.
How did you mess that up?
How did you said it was centered, that's why I said...
Yeah, but you were the one walking on this block.
A small mistake, but nothing that couldn't be corrected with a little more mining. After a hard day's work, it was so nice to be appreciated by Kevin, who had a little gift for me. The next morning, he met up with me at the dig site, and there he gave me a diamond chest plate. We were finally coming up in the world. Between days 85 and 86, I kept building the third house, which I wanted to finish soon because it was getting claustrophobic in here.
Bro, Kylie's doing the windmill on you, Kevin, at bedtime.
On the morning of day 87, it was time to enact a plan that we had been putting together for quite some time. We wanted to start a trading hall, so we were going to the nearest village, but first, we had to make a pit stop to collect some kelp. While doing that, we had a run-in with an eel. At least, I think it was an eel. But whatever this thing was, it was attacking us, and it did some serious damage. Shortly after the eel incident, we closed in on a village, and there, waiting in the forest, was our first villager. Then we had to pick a second target. So we walked around searching for someone who would be willing to join us all the way back at our town. With the villagers settled into their boats, it was time to begin the long journey all the way back to the base. This is the most tedious part about collecting villagers. I can't wait for the Happy Ghast update, that way we can just carry them away in a balloon. But for now, it was gonna have to be the old-fashioned way. The best way to get there was by taking the rivers, and we were lucky enough that the rivers actually led all the way to our house. We were finally home with our villagers, and now we could begin construction on a trading hall. But that would come later. We had to add some lore to our world. So far, our playthrough has been pretty peaceful. No one's died, there hasn't been any stealing accusations. So to create some lore, I had Noah bury himself, that way we had an excuse to build a monument. We had entered the last 10 days. Day 93, now day 94, we were making progress in this world, though most of it was cosmetic. A lot of builds, like this wall that I had constructed to keep creepers out. As for the progress in our trading hall, Kevin had created this villager breeding center. We were going to have plenty of villagers to employ, but first, well, they had to make more villagers. It was finally day 99.
The sun is setting on day 99. Can you believe it? Oh my god.
What's going on?
I got poisoned by a skunk. Bro, the game had to remind me that this is no cakewalk. Ah! Wait,
And then
day 100! Yeah! We made it! Let's take a screenshot. 100 days, Xavier, come here.
Day 100, let's go.
Wait. I need to join. I need to join for the 100.
Bro, you were not here.
Wait, I was there. Wait. No, guys, I'm spawning a craft account. Oh, yes, I am.
What's going on up there? All right, we're going. 3, 2, 1, go. Pose.
Wait, no.
Oh, okay.
I need my wings to show.
You're risking it. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we got it.
That was 100 Days and Minecraft Bedrock Edition Hardcore Mode. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, and don't forget to comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. This has been Double Sal. Have a great day.